All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in today. If that's what you're doing, if you've been with us all day, that's even better because I'm going to give you some good, fun, and informative news that should hopefully make you stay. Let's take a look at what these markets are doing. We take a look at what's going on in that corn market. Get that corn board up behind me there. Look at that. That's technology, isn't it? 2 3/4 cents higher in that March contract. That's up front. 6.78's last in that price, and that's what, 2 cents off the highs, folks. This is kind of making a run for it. Yeah, it's only 2 3/4 cents higher, though, Scott. Don't get too excited. 1 3/4 cents higher in the May. 6.75 is last there. So let's go down to that new crop D's. Well, we're higher than yesterday now. We're a half cent better, 5.95.5. The high is 5.97 1/4, but we're all waiting with bated breath to see that trade $6. How about soybeans? Well, they're down here. They're still kind of lagging. 3 cents lower in the front. That's March. 15.31 1/4 is last. That's solidly in the middle of the day's range. May's down 3 3/4 cents to 15.24. We go out to say new crop. Let's see what the Novi new crop is doing. This is Nova of 23 this year. It's down 3 1/4 cents here to 13.67 1/4, trying to get back up to that 13.70 line. Let's talk about the Chicago wheat market. Wheat in Chicago, what does that look like? Well, I'll tell you, it's down 3 3/4 cents pretty much across the board there. 3 3/4 cents lower into March, 7.57 1/4 is last. May's lower by 3 3/4 cents as well to 7.68 1/4. How about the hard red wheat in Kansas City? The old HRW down in KC. 5.5 cents lower in that front month, 8.75 1/4 is last. May's down 5.5 cents to 8.68 1/4. So there you go, about a 6 cent loss across the board when we talk about the hard red wheat down in Kansas City. Let's talk about spring wheat, Minneapolis. Well, that's also down by about 6 cents across the board. 6.5 cents though in March. That's 9.18 1/4 is last. 6 cents off the lows, so we're not really plumbing any new depths here. But May's off 6 1/4 cents as well, at 9.12 1/2. And let's take a quick peek at cotton. Everybody likes a bit of cotton, don't they? Well, we're 109 points lower there to 85.30 in the March, and the new crop piece is about 120 points lower, 84.80. There you go. That's the cotton market. Let's bring in our next guest analyst, Todd Bubba Horowitz, an old trading colleague of mine from the floors of the exchange when we used to spit and sweat on each other back in the good old days, right, Todd?
All the bodily functions going at one time, Scott. It was quite the life.
Yeah.
Being crowded around, but it was a heck of a lot better than what's going on right now. I mean, these markets have been like in a coma for months now. I think the longer they build this solid sideways pattern, the bigger the up move is going to be, though. I think that, they've shown that really the bottoms are probably in. And in fact, soybeans look really good and just on the verge of breaking out for another leg up, it looks like to me. So I think that overall things look pretty good. Although the trading atmosphere and the overall markets right now are just totally blasé and still stuck in a haze, I think.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else about it. It's kind of like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall, right? I mean, there's just nothing out there. And, some of these products, even the moving averages are all kind of starting to lay over the top of each other, the 50, the 20, the 100-day, 200-day. And that's just telling you that there's not a ton going on. Are we going to have to wait? I mean, I'm not expecting anything from the February 8th report, but are we going to have to wait until we get that acreage report at the end of March for this to make a move?
I don't think so, Scott. I think that, one thing you and I both know is the markets never announce themselves nor their intentions. And I think that you've had a lot of pressure, I think, from the bigger funds that are actually really buyers underneath, I think. And I think they've tried to push and they can't really get them to break. And I think one day we're going to walk in and the grains are going to have a limit, and I think they're going to take off from there. And I think that's really what I expect is just out of nowhere, we'll see some major movement. Well, I don't think it'll come off of news. I think it'll just come because the shorts are getting tired of trying to be short this market, and they're just going to take off to the upside.
Well, and you'll probably tell by my tone of voice, but everything's fine now, right? Even if we see these prices go higher because we got 517,000 new jobs this morning. So the world is fine. There's nothing to see here. Just as you were, please walk by because the world is great again, and I can feel my wallet growing right now in my pocket.
Are you being Buddy Hackett now, right? Because we got, my wallet is shrinking. In fact, I don't even need a wallet anymore for as much as they've done damage to the currency in my pocket. It's amazing how much more things cost. And it's really amazing that with all the inputs, and I'm talking to a lot of farmers, that their costs are getting very close to basically break even if they do decide to plant. So right. This is a big problem.
All right, stay right there. We got to go away. We got to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz. He's in Chicago with Bubba Trading after this. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. We'd be remiss if we didn't get to these protein prices. Why don't we bring those up real quick? We've got live cattle behind me. You can see there that the Feb is sharply unchanged, 159.75, but we're not going to report on that one right now because what's more important is the April, and that's down a tick, 2 cents to 163.80, and we've got June up a 2 cents. Well, look at this. That's a quiet board. June's up 2 cents to 160.02. So we won't linger too long there. How about looking at the feeder cattle? Feeders are going to be slightly better on the day. March contracts up 22 cents to 186.15. April's up 15 cents to 190 spot 22. And then we go to the hog pit. Remember when we used to walk from pit to pit back in the good old days? Let's see. April's up 32 cents here to 86.32, while May, drum roll please, is sharply unchanged again. 95.27. Not a lot going on. Let's bring back in Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's joining us here from Chicago. Todd, thanks for being on. All right, talk to me about the proteins. Anything that surprises you there? Anything you like to talk about?
No, I think that, if you take a look at crude and you look at the cattle, crude's been going down, cattle's been going up. I mean, live cattle looks really solid. It's quiet, but it looks really solid. I mean, we're only 10% from the all-time high. So, they continue to push higher as oil goes lower. And of course, you can compare a crude chart to hogs because right now people are buying beef. I think that hogs are probably a pretty good play down here at somewhere on these levels. I mean, when's the last time you saw, April hogs near the price of December hogs, in the past? So there's a lot of reasons to believe that they're going higher along with everything else. And I think that's going to be the case, but I just don't think there's a dramatic move as I see in the grain markets and the meats.
Do you think we're going to have to tread water a little bit here before we find out what the economy is really doing? I mean, you have to admit, we've had so many mixed signals, cross currents. I don't know if anybody's really got a great handle on what's going on out there. Again, we got some more mixed signals again today. What are your thoughts there? Because that could absolutely affect these protein prices depending on which direction the economy wants to go.
Well, I think the economy's in very, very sad shape and really in big trouble. I think that we're getting a lot of artificial news, especially with the people working part-time not getting benefits anymore. I think that's a problem. And I think that the simplest thing to do is to look in your own personal spending habits and what you're doing. And if you're struggling, you ain't the only one. And I think this is the problem. When you want to listen to an economist who has no clue and won't tell you that we were in a recession until 10 years later, we're in a recession, kids. I don't care what they say by the letter of the law. People are struggling. Credit card debt's at record highs. Right. And I'm not talking about the dollars. I'm talking about how many people are at limit on their credit card. And that's the problem.
All right, brother. Really appreciate your take on things. Great content. Thank you very much, Todd Bubba Horowitz, coming to us from Chicago, Bubba Trading.